Hello, dear viewer. Thank you for joining me again for your daily pick a card reading. These are actually piles of 3 because I find that 3 together tells a nice story about your day. And I will put the timestamps in the description so that you can find your pile easily. Okay, I ask you to choose the stone that draws you with your intuition. Choose the stone that draws you. All right, and let's begin. Okay, so for those of you who chose this lovely green stone, we have the the Ace of Wands, the 10 of Cups, and the Knight of Wands. Oh, nice energy today. Really nice energy today. All right, so this is not, earth-shattering. It's not like that, but that's okay. It's a day where, everyone's fine. It's sort of like the folks in your environment, whether that's family or friends or, your family of people. They're fine. They're all right. They feel this basic sense of security. Even if they may have their stressful things or they may have their troubles, this is very reassuring, saying they feel like at the base of it, everything's going to be okay. And so that's something you're enjoying and that you're participating in, contributing to. We have the Ace of Wands. That's an opportunity given, a new goal. Something might be drawing you. And it may be something interesting you want to learn, or it may be just something you want to get done. It could be small or big. It could be, you're really, what I find when I want to get something done, I feel like Spirit helps me to do that by really increasing that wanting and that energy and that enthusiasm for it, even if it's something I normally wouldn't enjoy. And so a day comes where all of a sudden I feel kind of led to do it, and I feel like I have good energy for it, and okay, I'm going to do it. So that's kind of sometimes what this Ace of Wands is. It's Spirit's helping you out to get enthused. So that's really nice. It's very welcome. Today's a good energy day with the Knight of Wands. It may be a day where you feel better than average energy and you feel like you can get on that horse and do something, take a purpose, take a goal forward. And you're not distracted today by family troubles. I think you don't need to be. If you are, I think this is saying it really is going to be okay. So please instead get lost in a goal or a purpose or something that just kind of is calling to you right now. It feels so good sometimes when we get up and we just start doing. Sometimes that feels so good. We get that sense of accomplishment. We feel more vigorous. Even if this is representing a mental job, a job that we're doing in our mind, still, it feels good to get it done. Okay, so for those of you who chose the banded green stone, we have got the 5 of Coins, the 3 of Cups, and the Hope card. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, so the Hope card, the Star card, is right in the middle. I mean, that's your major arcana. That's the main energy of your reading. Okay, for some of you, this is about be hopeful. If you have any money worries, any money woes, and maybe you overindulged somewhere, or you spent a little too much, or what have you. Maybe you are coming up a little bit short because you had some fun, So I think this is saying, don't worry. Don't worry. It's not the end of it. These two are ready to go into the church door where there's plenty enough of everything. There's warmth, there's food, there's enough. And the Hope card is telling me it's okay. It's not a big, really don't worry. You have every reason to be hopeful. It might be that you're experiencing a little bit of budget readjustment, oh gosh, okay, I can't spend much for the next week or two or whatever, but you should be hopeful. In fact, this is saying be hopeful for your situation in general to improve, not just after you get over this, but your situation in general, financially. For those of you who can tell me it's not about your finances, it can be about health and well-being then. Sources of security. So there may be something that's shaking it up a bit, that's making you feel a little shut out in the cold, making you feel a little less secure, a little less healthy, perhaps. You know, this guy, he's on crutches, you know. There might be something like that. But if that's the case, if this is about health and well-being and other sources of security other than money, you should still be hopeful and, in fact, look for a celebratory time to come forward that's coming up. So obviously, Spirit's got something planned for all of you that looks good. There's help on the way. And I just feel compelled to tell those of you who identified with the first half of the reading about the budgetary thing, I just feel compelled to tell you don't regret having had fun. I don't know why. Oh yeah, lots of energy with that. I feel like Spirit is saying, please don't do that to yourself. You know what I mean? Sometimes we feel like splurging. Sometimes, you know, we spent a little too much on something. That's okay. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, once in a while we need to do that. Or once in a while we truly do make an error and then we learn from it. And we can be hopeful about the future. So please don't feel bad about that. That only increases this sense, right? We don't ever want to beat up on ourselves or regret the past, because the past is gone. You know, it is a vapor. And we have this present moment, and it looks like the future moment is looking good. Okay, so for those of you who chose the white stone, we have got the Knight of Coins, we've got the Ten of Coins, and we've got the Wheel of Fortune reversed. Well, that's interesting. Okay, the fact that a card is reversed doesn't negate its appearance. It's still your most powerful card in the grouping because it's a major arcana. So we do look at that. When it's reversed, it may mean not quite yet. You know, there may be a new era coming in. Fortune, the Wheel of Fortune may be coming around in your favor, but the reversal says maybe not quite yet, okay? But that's all right. You should be hopeful. Okay, so we have the Knight of Coins. That's about steadily increasing your financial security or your health and well-being. You're just steadily, dependably, reliably doing that. The Ten of Coins suggests you do have some stability there. You have built up some stability and security, and you have enough. For many of you, this may be about your legacy. It may be that you really have built that up and you know, passing it down at some point. Not now, but you know, enjoying it for now. Like this guy, he's able to enjoy his family more because there's enough, and he knows there's going to be enough for them. He knows you raised them well, you know, and they're able to enjoy themselves more because they know that they have that support. Sometimes this is not as much about money as it is about, you know, the security of knowing that you have family and you have people you can depend upon. But in any case, it looks really good. Don't be discouraged if you feel like you're here, you know, day in, day out, you know, plodding along and doing the work that needs to be done to improve your health and wealth, okay? Don't be discouraged by that, even if it sometimes feels like a rut. But they're saying to you, hey, you've done actually a really good job of that, and you should pat yourself on the back for that. And they're also saying, okay, maybe not yet, but you are setting yourself up for a wonderful event in the future, a new era in the future. This will pay off. So that's nice. Okay, so that's a bit of encouragement. I like those. All right, now, for those of you who chose this lovely gray stone, with it has a little tan in it, it's got to be quartz. We have the Seven of Cups, we have the Six of Wands, and we have the Queen of Swords. We don't have any major arcana here, but we sure have some strong cards. So the Queen of Swords, that is telling me that you know some things. You know, you've got some good judgment. It's okay for you right now to be logic-based and to make a decision based purely on what's logical and makes sense. You know, sometimes, especially the Seven of Cups, when things look, a little confusing, a little misty, right? There's water here in the clouds. It's a little emotionally complicated. It's sometimes hard for us to know exactly what to do, even though logically we do. Now, the Queen of Swords comes ahead and says, okay, do what's logical. You know, even if sometimes we don't want to do what's logical because we're afraid. We're afraid, for one thing, because this is sometimes we can imagine bad things happening instead of good. And there's plenty of good things that could happen here, but this guy has trouble keeping his eye on those. So sometimes we are just don't go with the logical plan or intervention. And a lot of times this Queen of Swords, you know, she puts her heart on the aside for this one. And she just says she may even have to cut something away. She may even have to make a plan that not everyone's going to be happy with. But she can also tends to have her reason guided by inspiration and epiphany, revelation, you know, from the other side. So that's a powerful card. You're going to be able to cut through some confusion today if you focus on what makes sense. And then there's a victory for you. Then there's a victory for you. This is also saying, please don't expect the worst, expect a victory. You know, I feel like sometimes we worry so much about making a choice and a decision. And this woman certainly does make a good plan. A nice detailed plan that makes sense. We sometimes worry about doing that and executing that plan because we're worried how it'll turn out, and we're worried how others may perceive it. We're worried about how those we care about may feel about it. And so we imagine the worst. But this is saying, please don't imagine the worst. Imagine the best. Imagine the best. Look at this laurel crown. That's about victory. This is the victory card. The Six of Wands is victory. There's a laurel crown. Focus on that. Not, you know, the snake or whatever, not anything else, but focus on that. Yeah, so this is good. Go ahead with your plan. All right. Well, I thank you so much and have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.